Welcome back to the 20th annual Cruise360. Please welcome your host, CLIA Vice President of Industry and Trade Relations, Charles Sylvia, ECC.
Oh, hi.
Who is it?
It's Charlie with Clea.
Show him your Embark ID and tell him to bugger off.
Gee whiz. Thanks, Danielle. I guess the travel advisors love Clea as much as we love you. You know what? Because of our love for you, I think I'm going to moderate today's panel myself. Happy Friday, everyone. What did you think about last night's spectacular Clea Hall of Fame Cruise Industry Awards and Gala Dinner? Did everyone enjoy themselves? Thank you. I know I did. The dazzling entertainment was off the charts, and we would like to once again thank Revolution, a celebration of Prince from Norwegian Cruise Line, and how about The Wizard of Oz and Back to the Future from Royal Caribbean, and let's not forget White Knight by Azamara Cruises. Let's hear it for all these wonderful acts, folks. A heartfelt thank you to Norwegian Cruise Line, Royal Caribbean, and Azamara Cruises for providing us with such incredibly talented performing artists. And I would be remiss if I did not mention our Clea Hall of Fame inductee class of 2025. Congratulations again to Mandy Goddard, ECC, for receiving the Elite Cruise Counselor of the Year Award, Oasis Travel Network for receiving the Travel Agency of the Year Award, and Alex Pinello and Drew Daly for each receiving the Clea Lifetime Achievement Award. You know, when our Hall of Fame ceremony finishes every year, we wrap things up pretty quickly, right? So for those of you who attended last night and felt inspired by the stories of the 2025 Clea Hall of Famers, remember that every single one of them started out in this business just like we all did, right? Day one, right? From day one they started. Anyone sitting in this room right now could easily find themselves up on this stage one day being inducted into the Clea Hall of Fame themselves. Now, if you're feeling energized and inspired, that's great, because the week is not over yet. We still have more cruise line showcases this afternoon, along with the Visit Lauderdale and Port Everglades reception from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m., And this weekend will feature our magnificent ship inspections. Who's excited to experience some cruise ship hardware live and in person? Gotta love that. We will also have our sightseeing excursions on Saturday and Sunday for those scheduled to attend. And now it's time for today's main event, our small ship, small talk. Wait for it. Big commissions panel, right? Which is highly important for anyone looking to double or triple their commission income. You know, if you like making money, and who doesn't, right? You're gonna love this segment. While the format will be a small one-on-one conversation between two people, the opportunity is quite the opposite. In fact, selling a small ship cruise actually can boost your business, profoundly increasing your cruise sales volume and taking your commission income to the next level. And what's most interesting, and this is what's most interesting to me, is the fact that small ship clients are typically easier to sell and service because they're often experienced and sophisticated travelers who require less hand-holding. This leaves you with much more time to surprise and delight them in other ways in order to secure their future business. Just don't overdo it. Small ship clients are enjoyable to work with, and I encourage you to take good notes during this panel. We will also use our audience engagement tool, Slido, in this session. To kick off the panel, we would like to hear directly from you. We are curious on where you stand currently on selling small ship cruises. So let's make our poll live, and our first question is, do you currently sell small ship cruises? Yes or no? And let's see how we're working out. Well, that's good. All right, good. Oh, so we've got a great opportunity there. Terrific. Next question is, have you sold expedition and/or river cruises? Let's see what we have here. Neither of them, all right. So we've got a lot of opportunity there. Excellent. And then the last question is, if not, what is preventing you? Let's take a look. Here we go. Perfect, so sourcing clients. So that's great because these are the things that we're going to talk about right now. So let's get started, shall we? First of all, let's welcome our newest 2025 CLIA Hall of Famer, the Chief Sales Officer with AMA Waterways. Let's welcome Alex Pinello. Come on, he's the CLIA Hall of Famer. Let's hear it, folks. Thanks so much. Oh, Alex, how are you?
Oh my God, I'm great. I still haven't gone to bed.
You're on cloud nine, huh?
Cloud nine, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start off. You know, I'm someone who likes to take notes, and succinct notes, right? Yep. So if our advisors were to make note of one single sentence to describe and differentiate AMA Waterways, what would that sentence be?
Could it be a long sentence?
It can be a long sentence.
Okay, it's going to be a long sentence. So I would say we're that, family co-owned and operated river cruise company, and we're known for our warm, friendly, authentic service delivered by that dedicated crew that's going to make you feel part of the AMA family from the moment, even before you set foot on the ship, because when you do a pre or post with AMA, the cruise manager is with you on land as well as the ship. But I think just as important, we're that company that we're making our decisions based on how we can provide better service for our travel advisors, a better guest experience for our clients, and a better working environment for our team members, which is our winning formula, right? Our secret sauce for, as a result, we're the cruise line with the highest, NPS scores, guest satisfaction, and repeat clientele. So that was a long sentence, but that was,
And it's a sentence that resonates with me
Yep.
because every time I've sailed on one of your ships, I felt that feeling of family. I felt like I was part of the family.
Yep, for sure.
You know, Alex, I just saw on social media some really exciting stuff going on at AMA Waterways, especially with our friend Jen Lee. But what are you most excited about presently at AMA Waterways? What is the latest and greatest?
What is the latest? Finally, on April 12th, the AMA Magdalena set sail on the Magdalena River. Finally, we are so excited. And I have to say, as excited as we are, as excited as you are, the guests that are cruising with her, beautiful 60-passenger ship, the Colombian people, I have never seen anything like that. And I'm sure you've seen some of our posts and some of our images. But every time the ship goes to a new destination and stops at a new port, there's tens of thousands of locals, tens of thousands of Colombians welcoming the ship, the crew, the guests. I think it's going to really become probably my favorite product that we're offering.
That is so cool. I can't wait to
Yep.
try that
Yep.
out myself. That's fantastic. Now, we saw on the survey, on the Slido survey, about sourcing clients, right? What advice do you have for our audience on identifying and attracting AMA Waterways qualified clients?
Okay, well, I know from the previous panel or the hot seat, we couldn't use the word, everyone, right? But no, but I think there's just such a wonderful opportunity for you to source clients for our product, for river cruising. And I have to say, work with your business development manager, work with the tools that we offer to help you, but also work with your own passion, right? What do you like to do, right? And then create a group around that passion that you have, and then you can even at that point, this would be a great opportunity to use AI, right? Say you're promoting a specific group and you can say, okay, I'm promoting a group on wellness travel, and I live in such and such an area. What would be the top 10 target clients or businesses that I can go after to help me fill this sailing? And then all of a sudden, in seconds, you'll get a full list of potential clients that you can go after and target. And then it's a great opportunity for you to add that human touch to gather and capture that information. It's so easy. I mean, and really depending on what you like, we have something, whether it's, health and wellness, whether it's wine cruises, whether it's, our beer cruises, whether it's, there's really something for everybody. And you really have to follow your heart. And as I tell my team and many of the people that I speak to, follow your heart and the wallet will follow.
Right, absolutely. And one of the things at our premier summit that I really enjoyed was learning how many people, their first cruise was a river cruise. And so I think that that's an important takeaway too, is that we don't want to think in terms of graduating to river cruising or expedition, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Alex, let's talk for a moment about the travel advisor who's maybe sold one or two AMA Waterways cruises, but now, they love your brand and they are thinking that now's the time I want to make a name for myself. What is it that all your top accounts do? What is it that they all have in common, those common traits that help them become so successful?
So obviously we're in a relationship business. So I would say help us help you, right? And what we find is those travel advisors that are the most successful with our brand are those that have a relationship with their BDM, have a relationship with our national accounts team, our strategic partner networks. I know Diane's in the audience, Herlan's here as well. Myself, Alex at amawaterways.com. Send me an email. I'll put you in contact with the right person. But have somebody within that brand that you're selling, have somebody that that you can always reach out to. And I think having that relationship, that partnership will form into a friendship, and really you'll work together, and we're working together toward the same mutual goals. Your BDMs are working toward the same mutual goals. If you're not successful, they're not successful. So tap in to those local resources that we all provide to you, and I have no doubt that you will be on your way to be a successful advisor with us.
Fantastic, thank you for that. I'm going to ask you a fun question now. would you share with our audience, Alex, what was the single largest commission you have, because it is, after all, small ship, small talk, big commission. What is the single largest commission you have ever seen paid to an advisor by AMA Waterways?
So could I just mention 3 really quick? I know
Sure,
I'll
of
save
course.
the big one for last. Our average commission checks that we send out is $1,800. So yes, that's a commission check with a comma. So we love paying out those commissions. Our largest commission check that will be paid out this year to an individual FIT booking is $20,200. And our highest commission check that is being paid out to a group booking this year is $141,000. So
That's extraordinary.
yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Who wants to earn $141,000?
Anyone?
Send me an email, alex@amawaterways.com, and I'll put you in contact with your BDM, and we'll be on our way.
And that advisor was a regular advisor,
Regular,
right?
absolutely.
Regular advisor,
Absolutely.
right? Alex, we just got time for one last thing. You know, we were supposed to do something a couple of years ago. Do you think we should do it again?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been on our list, and we haven't.
What do you
Done.
think about maybe a seminar at sea where travel advisors can sail with the both of us? Maybe, how about the Rhine in May of 26?
Let's do the Rhine, May of 2026.
Who'd like
Absolutely.
to go on the Rhine in May of 2026?
More details will follow, and I guarantee you, all those that will sail with us, you know, forget 141,000. We'll double that. I mean, we'll double that because you're going to get the best of training from myself, from Charlie, and we're going to help you not book one group, but we're going to help you book multiple groups and take advantage of all the wonderful promotions and offers. We wouldn't be successful without you. So a huge thank you for the wonderful support you give our brand.
Thank you so much. Alex Pinello, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much, Alex.
Thank you, Charlie.
Great having you. Terrific. Next up, folks, is the Chief Sales Officer, North America Sales, with Azamara Cruises, Michelle Lardizabal. I'm dancing again, Michelle. Thanks for being here, please. Oh, Michelle, that entertainment last night was off the charts. Is that what Amazing Evenings are like?
Yes, it's exactly what it's like on board for our White Nights, which we do on every one of our cruises. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It's my pleasure, but I'm so grateful for everyone that's here, and I know you shared that 60% of the people here are new to the business. So welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in great company. And we want you to sell Azamara. So I'm really excited to talk about last night because it was a phenomenal way to end the evening, an evening of celebration. And we do White Nights on board, which is about music and dancing. It's a night under the stars. So it was a perfect way to end last night celebrating all the Lifetime Achievement winners. They were just a phenomenal and inspiring group.
Thank you for furnishing the. Did you all love the White Nights with Azamara Cruises? That was fantastic, wasn't it? I know you're eating. So let's go back to the fundamentals. You know, that one sentence I mentioned with Alex. What is the one sentence that our advisors could write down to describe and differentiate Azamara?
So I'm going to give you a great tip. As you guys well know, when you're talking to your clients, the number one consideration for vacation or for a cruise is destination. It all starts with a destination. So at Azamara, we're the global leaders in destination immersion. And we take you to places where no one else goes. And we spend the most time in port, which is incredibly important these days when time is so limited and so precious. So we spend 2 nights in Seville, 2 nights in Bordeaux. We have extended destination days where we spend 10 hours or more in port. And that's really important because that means that your client is not rushing. They're taking their time and enjoying the vacation that you had planned for them. So they're going to come back to you time and time again, which is important.
And speaking of those clients, you know, hopefully everyone's using their CRM to the best of their ability. We talked about sourcing clients, right, and what to look for in identifying that Azamara prospective client. What characteristics, what are the best sourcing ways that you've seen?
Well, we were talking backstage and we were having the conversation that small ship cruising can be that first entree into cruising.
Right.
And so I go back to destination, and if you have a client that comes up and says, I've always wanted to go to Italy, think about Azamara, think about small ship cruising, because you can go, we have country intensives where you can spend every day in an Italian port.
Yeah.
And what a wonderful way to not have to unpack and repack and move along, that you're able to have that just seamless experience. So really put yourself outside the box and really qualify that customer. That's where it all starts, and really understanding, because you could take someone that's never cruised before, sail on Azamara, and they'll come back to you time and time again.
That's amazing.
Good.
You know what I didn't ask you, Michelle, was, we had such an exciting evening of entertainment, but what are you most excited about with what's going on now at Azamara?
We spend a lot of time surveying all of you, our travel partners, listening to our customers. And what our guests and what you say you love about us is the onboard experience, is the fact that we're taking you to new destinations, the fact that we're spending most time in port, the incredible service that we have. So we've launched Destination Immersion Elevated, which looks at all of these different segments of our business and takes the feedback that you've been giving us and really elevating what we've been doing. So last night we announced that we have a new partnership with RWS Global, and we've launched 10 new exclusive shows to our onboard entertainment, as well as some new experiences on board. We've also taken that shoreside, so we've got 25 new ports. We've taken our specialty cruises like the Monaco Grand Prix, like Rio. We've grown from 6 to 22. So really creating unique experiences for your clients. We've also looked at, and we've talked about, we are staying in port longer. Let's have more opportunities to own the night and really be able to offer some shore excursions that are unique and very special to every itinerary. So we've launched 246 new night tours, which is phenomenal. And then when it comes to the onboard, we heard you loud and clear in terms of, it's really great to bring that destination on board. So how can we do that? And we're launching a destination showcase, which brings authentic cultural experiences, entertainment on board for a night under the stars, which is addition to our white night. So really dialing it up. So we're taking it from these really big ideas, even down to the smallest idea of, what are we doing for entrees and enlarging that offering, as well as beers. 21 new beers from around the world that you can have while you're sailing with us. So looking at every detail, to the big things that make a big difference, to the small things that are very meaningful when you're on board and in the moment.
That's amazing. And it's funny because I love your intensive itineraries, and as you know, in September, I'm so excited. I'll be sailing to Croatia aboard the Azamara Onward, and we're just looking forward to it so much.
So if you're not following Charlie, make sure you do, because in September you need to watch him as he cruises on Azamara.
Right. And we'll be with a whole group of travel advisors, so very excited about that. I don't want to forego my favorite question, which is about that commission.
Yeah.
Michelle, can you share with us what has been the single largest commission you've seen paid to one of your accounts, to one of your advisors?
I'm going to answer this in twofold, because I think that everyone's, your mouth waters, your eyes get big when you see that big commission check come in. So we actually had someone book our owner's suite on our world cruise.
Oh.
And that came in at $51,942.63 in commission. So that's huge, yes, for one booking, right? But there's also the opportunity of every day, and that person that's going to come in and book with you, throughout the week.
Right.
And that's where, for us, and a great opportunity for you is in Alaska. We're going to be sailing in Alaska in 2026, and we just announced our cruise tour packages. And on the cruise tour packages, you earn your commission throughout, both the cruise and the land.
Right.
So there's an opportunity to double your commission in terms of really offering that great extensive vacation that's going to get that client coming back to you, but also reward you in your pocketbook. So we love sending out those commission checks. We love partnering with the trade and are so appreciative of the business that you bring to us.
Where should advisors go to learn everything about Azamara?
So we do have a travel agent portal. It's connect.azamaro. And then, of course, we have an amazing team. I know I'm biased, but they really are the best in the business. They want to work with you. So please, you can go on to Azamaro Connect, get their information, and reach out to them. They are there to help you, and they are a passionate, knowledgeable team that can really help and make a difference in your business. And then if you're just starting out, log on to Azamaro World Academy. It's our online training tool. And actually, May 1st, we're launching our Alaska chapter, so a great way, if you're not experienced in Alaska, to learn about Alaska, as well as 3 chapters on everything about Azamara. So please log on, and we'd love to give you the bonus commission and the CLIA credits that you get for graduation.
Michelle, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
Michelle
everybody.
Artizabal, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Next up, let's welcome to the stage the Vice President and Managing Director, North America with Celestial, Brandon Townsley.
Go on, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run.
Oh my God, if I took the money and run, I would probably book
wouldn't be here
several
right now.
Celestial cruises.
Yeah, money, 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 money.
Oh my goodness. So Brandon, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Fantastic week.
Oh,
How did
it's
I
been-
get on this panel?
Oh,
We have a Hall of Famer starts us off. How do you follow that?
I
mean, Alex Mello, what an honor to know him. I spent 16 years with him at Norwegian Cruise Line. He inspired me every day to be a better teammate and a colleague, so very well deserved.
so respected. So yes, let's start with that one sentence, Brandon. What should advisors write down if it's one sentence about Celestial, and it can be a long sentence, what would it be?
I'm going to make it very short and easy, not even grammatically correct. I'm
love
going to
it.
give you 3 words: experiential, Greece, and the third one is groups, because that's going to spin us into another one. And one more word: unmissable, because we deliver unmissable experiences both onshore and on board.
So now, you've definitely piqued my interest with that, and I love concise, right? Let's dig deeper, right? Tell us a little bit more about what's going on now at Celestial and what opportunities we have for our travel advisors.
Sure. Well, both ships just went under a multi-million-dollar renovation each. Celestial Discovery has just returned to service. She operates our iconic 3- and 4-night Greek Isles itineraries. We're the only ones that do that. Great, you keep hearing this theme from me, groups. Great opportunity for groups, booking those groups on 3- and 4-night, then packaging it with land, and that will roll into pre and post and additional commission opportunities. And then Celestial Discovery also went through a multi-million-dollar renovation and just returned from her first season in the Arabian Gulf, home ported in Doha, operating a 7-night Arabian Gulf itinerary. She is now operating the first season of our Heavenly Adriatic, and I'm actually headed over there on Wednesday with a group of advisors and some media. And we're going to spend 7 days in the Ionian and Adriatic Sea, visiting Kotor in Montenegro, Dubrovnik in Croatia, then over to Bari, which is in the Perugia region of Italy. This port was actually my idea because I had read that it was the up-and-coming area of Italy, and the customer satisfaction scores have been through the roof. So we're really happy about Bari. I'm excited to see Bari. And then we're going to finish it off in Kefalonia and Catacalon. So very exciting.
And I love the size of your ships. Your ships are what, about 1,250 and 1,350 approximately?
Yeah, approximately.
Passengers. It's a perfect size vessel for groups, right?
Absolutely. Great spaces for groups, especially on both vessels have just some amazing spaces to host that cocktail party. If there is a corporate component or training component, educational component to your group, we have meeting rooms that are perfect for that type of thing, and even smaller rooms for small meetings, board members, those types of things. And again, going back to your corporate business, at MICE Business, we offer 3- and 4-night itineraries, which is a sweet spot for those types of groups.
It's great
And
rates.
we also have, of course, our 7-day as well.
And those shorter voyages and the MICE groups, that's a great way to expose those who may never have cruised to cruising.
Right.
Who is the Celestial guest, Brandon?
The Celestial guests, we've done a considerable amount of work looking at who our guests are. And we've really come up with like these 3 buckets to help travel sellers know who to look for in their databases. So they are social seekers, they are wellness wanderers, and they are cultural enthusiasts. So the wellness seekers, those are individuals who love to incorporate not only wellness and things into their daily lives and their lifestyle, but also expect their vacations and their holidays to have wellness components as well. So they enjoy that natural fit of having that blue Mediterranean cuisine on board our ships. You know, not much is fried. Everything is grilled, beautiful fish and chicken in that, that traditional Greek flavor. And then we have a full spa and wellness treatments as well. Then you have the social seekers, those individuals that like to do things in groups. So these are individuals that like to go on and they like to have these immersive, experiential visits to the ports of call that they go to. They like to tread like a local, but they do it in groups, experiencing things together, and they love our award-winning shore excursion program. They like to participate in those really, really immersive shore excursions we offer. And then we have the cultural enthusiasts that are really looking for that one-of-a-kind vacation experience. They want to go experience the destination as a local. They want to experience it with locals. And being a Greek heritage, our heritage was born in Greece. We were a Greek company. We're private equity owned now, but traditionally everybody from the onboard staff, the people who operate our shore excursions, and all the suppliers that we work with to create this celestial experience for our guests really provide that Eastern Mediterranean flavor for our guests that are come and sail with us in the Eastern Mediterranean. As well, when we go to the Arabian Gulf, we really bring on the cultural experience, not only on shore, we bring it on board with local performances and things like that.
And that's what I love most about Celestial is the authenticity that you deliver with every one of your experiences. I do not want the time to pass without us hearing about that commission, Brandon.
Sure. I'm going to take a little bit of a different road because we have a 3- and 4-night itinerary along with 7, so they're not as long. But we've had groups that have done just south of $100,000. But what I want to talk about is, and these were groups of very, very large groups, which are far few in between. But when you get down to that group sweet spot, about 25 to 30, the thing is not only the cruise commission, but we also offer commission on everything you're able to sell pre-cruise. So you're doing a group. Your group is going to want to come in a couple nights before, probably have to stay a night after because the flights to North America leave in the morning, so you're not going to make it off the ship. We commission our pre- and post-hotels program, and we're going to come out with a new program very, very soon. We commission all our shore excursions at 10% as well. We commission transfers and anything you pre-sell, including F&B. We have an F&B wallet we call Celestial Pay, where guests, if it's pre-purchased, they actually receive an extra bonus depending on the amount, and you get commissioned on the amount, the purchase price of that. So you're getting commission on the food and beverage they actually purchase on the ship. So that's cocktails, beer and wine, specialty restaurants. So it's a very, very unique opportunity. So my message in that question is not the amount, but everything that we do commission, and it really adds up. So for a group of 25 to 30, the average commission is around $40,000 to $50,000.
Wow, that's fantastic. Real quick, because we're out of time, but where do we go to learn all things Celestial?
Sure. Well, celestial.com, but we just launched a new travel advisor portal. It's called Celestial Compass. Every navigator needs its compass. So it's where all our travel advisors can go to learn everything they need to know about Celestial. We have also just launched Celestial Campus, which is our online learning management system, our online training portal. There's 10 courses there right now, and we're adding another one in the near future. So we're excited about that.
Brandon, you've been my friend for years. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for being here, sir. And you know what? I ran out of time with Alex Pinello, didn't get a chance, but obviously to learn all about the AMA Waterways Academy, you want to go to amawaterways.com. Want to make sure that we get it out for everyone. Next up, folks, let's welcome to the stage the head of sales, North America with Explorer Journeys, Amy Price.
If I had $1 million, if I had $1 million,
I love this
well,
song.
I'd buy you a
So
cake
good to
car.
see you.
Too.
Oh, if I had $1 million, you know where I'm going,
Oh,
right?
I have a feeling I know where you're going.
Back on Explorer 2, so I got married in September, and we spent our got locked down, right?
Yeah.
Anchor on my finger. Just kidding. And we spent our honeymoon on Explorer 2 in January.
And we were very happy to have you on board.
Thank you. It was an amazing experience. One of my top 3 cruises out of 352.
And counting.
And counting. So Amy, so exciting. Everything that's going on with Explorer Journeys. What are you most excited about?
Oh my gosh, there is so much excitement and buzz around our brand. Hopefully all of you have heard of our brand by now because we are the fastest growing ultra luxury line in the industry right now. We will have 6 ships before 2028.
Oh.
But I think the most exciting things that are happening right now is by May, we will have itineraries and deployment open through the summer of 2027. And by October, we'll be open for deployment all the way through 2028. And that means that we will have 6 ships of inventory on sale for you to sell into. And we've always said that as we open more deployment, that means that our brand is going to become a more global brand. You know, being new, we were really only in the Mediterranean and the Caribbean, which oftentimes people said, well, my clients have already been there, they've already done that.
Right.
We said, you know, bring them on board, sell them the experience of the ship, and then as we start to expand globally, that means that they're going to want to come back and see us. So from a global perspective, you're going to see us venture into markets such as Alaska, Asia, Japan,
Wow.
South America. So a lot of exciting options coming up. And in addition to that, with the building of our ships, this July, we're going to have 3 ceremonies in one day on July 16th. So we will have the float out of Explorer 3. We will have the coin ceremony for Explorer 4 and the steel cutting of Explorer 5. So those are all huge landmarks or markers in the building of a ship that we're going to have coming up.
That is so exciting. I mean, to put all those amazing milestones together. And we're just going to bring out a microphone for you. Thank you so much, Amy. Let's do that one sentence. Let's talk about that one sentence. I'm writing down one sentence about Explorer Journeys. What am I writing down?
Well, you know, I didn't want the sentence to come from me. We've had thousands of advisors on board our ship already, and we've only been in operation for 18 months. And I thought I would go out to some of those advisors. Some of them had very long-winded answers, which didn't really meet my requirement of one sentence. But I did get an answer back from one of our agency owners in the Seattle area, ironically enough, and I thought I'd read it because I thought she did a fabulous job. She's already sailed with us 3 times.
I love this.
And I thought I'd read what she said because it came straight from the horse's mouth, I guess.
Please.
So she said, there are at least 5 5-star rated lines in the world, but Explorer Journeys differentiates itself by a very high level of training standards, unparalleled cuisine, and unique sense of contemporary European design, glamour on board her beautiful vessels. So I thought she encompassed what we do very well. But we do have a lot of unique differentiators, and I think some of those also include the fact that we came to the market with the idea that we wanted to be very attractive to the new to cruise market. And a lot of times people don't think of cruising because they have aversions, whether it be, oh, you're going to be on board and not have anything to do, or you're going to be in confined spaces. So we did a lot of surveying of clients before the brand even came to fruition, and we wanted to make sure that we offer space. We have the largest guest-to-space ratio in the industry right now. We wanted to offer choice, which again is an aversion to cruising. So we have 18 bars, lounges, and restaurants on board. And we just wanted to continue to differentiate ourselves and make sure that we're going to destinations that are unique and traveling much more like a super yacht. So yeah, hopefully our advisors and our guests on board are feeling that, and we are hearing that back.
I certainly felt it. I felt like I was on a super yacht. I felt super on a super yacht. Best pastel de natish I've ever had in my life, by the way. Anyway, what advice would you have for advisors on finding the Explorer client?
So advice on finding the Explorer client, I touched on it just briefly, that we built our brand to really be attractive to new to cruisers. And I know a lot of you probably have guests who travel with you on land products or you're selling on hotel products. Think of them as opportunities to come to us. If they're open to the idea of cruising, I have been on board several times and talked to many guests, and oftentimes they are saying to me, I've never been on a ship before, and I never knew I could have this type of experience on board a ship, because we really are a boutique hotel at sea, and guests are coming off saying that. So think of the new to cruisers, but also the discerning travelers, and don't be hesitant to think of families. While we are a luxury brand, we are owned by a family, and our family owners wanted to make sure that we were accommodating families. So we do have a kids and teens program on board called the Nautilus program, and we are ideal for those multi-gen travelers who are in that luxury space.
Yeah, no, as far as the new to cruise, I've met so many people on board, it was their first cruise.
Yeah.
And everyone had the same sentiment. They didn't feel like they were on a ship.
Yeah.
Which was extraordinary. Let's talk for a moment about advisors who may have sold one or two Explorer journeys and want to make a name for themselves. What are your top accounts doing? What are they doing to perform?
So our top accounts really have been the accounts that have been excited about sharing something new with their clients. They've leaned into our story. I mean, we were out there selling the brand for at least 2 years before we had any ships in the water. So we were really selling a dream and a passion. And those advisors really leaned into that dream and that passion, and they learned as much as they could about the product. And to their clients, they looked like superstars because they were really powerful in what they were offering their clients as far as something new and a new opportunity for them to consider taking their vacation on.
One of my fellow guests on board my sailing said that their travel advisor called them and said, I want you to get in on the ground floor of something new and exciting. And that was exactly the approach, and I thought it was brilliant.
Exactly, get them hooked early.
Yeah, and before we go, I want to hear about that largest commission, Amy. What was the largest commission check you ever cut?
Well, we have had a lot of groups sailing thus far, and I didn't really dabble into the groups because I wanted to hopefully wow you with that single FIT commission. So we have a suite on board our ship that's called the Owner's Residence. It's a whopping 3,014 square feet, and it does span the entire aft of Deck 8 with its own private infinity pool and lots of outdoor space. So we had one travel advisor who sold the Owner's Residence for 31 nights consecutively, and their commission check was $60,300. So.
And that was an FIT.
That was an FIT, and you know, we pay very generous commissions.
Right.
We have no NCFs.
Yep.
We pay commissions at the time of final payment. And one other thing that we don't talk about is that we also protect your commission on canceled bookings. So keep that in mind.
We're out of time, Amy, but where are we going for more information?
For more information, you can come to our Travel Advisor Center. It's super easy, explorerjourneys.com/travel advisors. And we also have a wonderful team of business relationship leads throughout North America. So we want to make sure you connect with them.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you for being
Charlie.
here. Thank you for coming. Great. Oh, and I dropped my little thing here. Okay, here we go. Next up, folks, we have the Director of Sales Americas with Quark Expeditions, Dave Marathakis. Welcome, Dave.
I got the brains, you got the looks. Let's make lots of money.
Please make yourself comfortable. Thank you very much. Well, Dave, wow. I just think of your brand, and I think of such cool vessels. They're the most beautiful vessels I've ever seen. What is the one sentence that our advisors should write down about Quark Expeditions?
Yeah, so really simple. We've got this down to a T now, which is polar obsessed since 1993. So that's all we've done for 30 years since the very beginning, is gone to the Arctic and Antarctica, and that's all we're going to continue to do today as well. So really easy, and just expedition is the only thing that we do.
And tell me, Dave, what is the latest going on at Quark Expeditions? What are you most excited about?
So there's actually two things I'm excited about. The first, from our internal side, is that we announced that we're going to take on the World Voyager as our next vessel in 26-27 in Antarctica. So that evolution just keeps us as the most modern fleet down in that region. And additionally, we're bringing on board a citizen science program onto that vessel as well. So it's a huge advancement in terms of offering more learnings for our guests on board, not just on the ship, but off the ship as well. And then the other side of it that I'm really excited about was the trade show yesterday, actually, because so many advisors came up and said they want to learn about expedition. And that was a great thing to hear because we're often forgotten about it at certain times, but they really want to learn and they understand that this is the market to be in.
And you know what? I would venture to guess that every single advisor in this audience has someone in their CRM who wants to sail, wants to experience a Quark expedition. Who are these people, and what are the things that they might be telling their travel advisor that are the signals that they might be Quark qualified?
Yeah, absolutely. Chances are you do have that database somewhere in your Rolodex of customers, because if they've gone on a safari or even the river cruise with some of our partners up here on stage, they transition quite nicely into expedition space. Because of the way that they operate their itineraries, they're very similar to what we do on expedition. We literally just take them to the edges of the earth and take them on those small ship experiences as well.
Folks, take a look at that vessel. Look at what we're looking behind us. I mean, my God. Let's take a moment to think about that advisor who may have dabbled with Quark for a bit and might want to just take it up a notch.
Yep.
What are your top accounts doing? How are they reaching out? How are they attracting clients?
Yeah, so they're down in 3 categories for us. There's 3 things that really make them excel in this space. And the first one's trust. We need them to trust us as a brand to deliver on expectations, because we understand that when an advisor recommends our product, their reputation is on the line as much as ours to deliver on that expectation as well. So it's very important that they trust us to do that for them. But then on the flip side, if there's a challenge in the way, trust us to help work with you to resolve that. That's part number 1. Number 2 is actually knowing about the polar regions with Quark. You know, it's one thing to understand the destinations, but there's so many intricacies in that region that it helps to have general understanding of how we operate and what we do. It's not because they can't rely on Quark to jump in and help out and answer those questions, but the ones that excel know how to preemptively answer some of those questions that those guests might have as they come along, versus always having to turn to the experts to try and answer some of those along the way. And then the third one is understanding expedition, because we are a unique product out there. You know, we don't have the dots on a map like traditional sailings do to say we're going to go here, here, and here. It almost looks like we gave a 3-year-old a map and said, just draw a squiggly line. And we do that on purpose because we trust, again, our expedition team to go out and deliver the best experience in destination. So that might mean we might have to maneuver the ship around into a different fjord or a different part of the region to make sure that we can give the best experience, spend the most time off the ship, and really just enjoy the atmosphere as much as possible.
And we have a little extra time, believe it or not. Let's talk about the ships. Tell us about the capacities. Tell us about group opportunities.
Yeah, so capacity is actually really important in this region, particularly in Antarctica, because there's restrictions on the number of guests that are allowed and the size of the ship with those guests on board. So Quark very specifically has 199 guests on board the Ultramarine just there, or less, down to 138 on all 3 of our ships. And that means that we've got the most locations that we can actually dock in within the Antarctica region to give us the best opportunity to have the best experience while we're in that destination. So it's very key that every one of those ships has those restrictions in play to give us the best opportunity. And of course, the Ultramarine right there, you know, the flagship vessel in our fleet, the one of one, built for Quark by Quark, has the twin helicopters on board. What other way can you go experience part of these areas of the world than above and land in some destinations that no one has ever trekked in before?
I followed the shipbuilding of, because I'm a ship geek big time, and I followed the shipbuilding of the Ultramarines, and it's just absolutely stunning. And what it can do is amazing. Tell me about your most fond experience aboard Quark expeditions.
I wish I could say. My first trip's actually in June, so I'm going up to Svalbard myself, up in Arctic, so I wish I could say I've been 1,000 times, but not yet. But I'm looking forward to it. Like, the diversity of the wildlife and the landscape and everything else that's up in that region is just going to be phenomenal. And then from a personal side, my dad from Australia is actually coming on board with me. So
Is he
I don't get to
really?
see him all that often. So, bringing him up and making sure I'm in that will at the end is very important. So ticking that box as I go.
I hope you I hope you capture lots of content because I want to follow that with great interest.
Absolutely.
And I would be remiss if we didn't talk about that commission.
Absolutely. Look, we're not a cheap product. We're not trying to be a cheap product. We're a luxury expedition company. So, there's 3 different values that I can give, like most of the other partners. And the first one is the individual FIT booking. There was some customers, advisors that booked our presidential suites on board the Ultramarine, and for that one booking alone on one itinerary, generated $42,000 in commission for that one. Now, when we move into our group spaces, the numbers definitely match up with our partners there as well. So the biggest group that we've ever paid out on is $150,000. But then just last month, a group out of Mexico, not even taking up the whole ship, you're literally talking about 20 berths, $100,000 for them as commission as well. So we definitely have commas in our commissions as well.
And these were travel advisors. I mean, who are these travel advisors? I mean, they're just regular accounts, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're there to support them. We nurture them. We work with them. But, if anyone was just in Kirk's session before, he works with your partners, each and every one of you, to help grow that business, and the rest of the team does globally as well. And it's just identifying the right customer, finding the right group of people, and then understanding that we can deliver on those expectations that you're looking for as well.
Amazing. Where can they go for complete information and to take your training course?
Yeah, absolutely. We have the Polar portal, partner portal. So you can go to quarkexpeditions.com, and under there you'll see the Travel Advisors tab. Just click on that, and that's where you get entrance into our partner portal. All the information's there, marketing materials, campaigns, imagery, videos. If you love the look of those ships, you can have them for yourself to use for your own marketing out there. And then, of course, we've got Parker the polar bear, of course. And if you ever have any of those one-off questions and you don't want to wait online to try and get hold of somebody, he's right there to answer them immediately for you as well. So all the resources you need are there under our partner portal.
Dave, thank you so much for spending time with us. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Marathakis, please.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I think I got wires coming out of me. All right, here we go. So now, next up, folks, is the Director of Key and National Accounts with Scenic Group, Kayla Corbett.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to
Thank you, Charlie.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Oh, it's so good to have you here.
Great to be here. Happy Friday.
You too. So, wow, lots going on at Scenic, right?
Lots.
You got 2 brands, you've got
do.
2 different categories of ships in each brand. Tell me, what's the latest?
Well, if you watched any of the announcements at Sea Trade, you would have seen that Emerald, on our Emerald brand side, we had 3 new ship announcements for 2026 and 2027. So that will be Emerald Raya, Emerald Zara, and then of course we have Emerald Lumi coming in 2027, which will be our first ever Seine River ship. So we're very excited about all the growth, and there just might even be some more to come if you follow along throughout the course of this year.
The addition of those 3 vessels brought us up to 77 new ships in the order book up through 2036. That's so exciting. What is that one sentence that advisors should write down when referring to the Scenic brand?
I would say it's ultra luxury that is absolutely unrivaled. And when we're thinking about Scenic, we are a truly all-inclusive product and have exceptional experiences along the way. The only operator in Antarctica to offer 2 helicopters and a submersible, so it is in a league of its own.
And how are we finding our Scenic clients?
Well, that's like one of the top questions that all advisors ask, because everybody wants to sell Antarctica. It's a very lucrative product. People are hungry to take that next journey, but they're always asking, where can I find expedition, specifically ultra luxury expedition clients? And I always tell people, you need to become the expert in the destination, because the clients know what they want, and they want to make sure that you, as the advisor, can guide them in the right zone. So it's everything from knowing when are the emperor penguins still available to see in South Georgia and the Falkland Islands. What month is that? If your guests are really interested in whales, when is that seasonality? How can you brief them about the expedition experience overall and set those expectations? And the more that you know and are marketing, the more you'll attract that clientele and really put yourself in that space.
And now let's talk for a moment, because I love common denominators, and I love talking about, I love role modeling, or referring back to top performers, right? So what are these top performers doing that are really digging deep within Scenic?
They're marketing all year long, constantly.
Really?
They make a sale, they know how to do it, but they're never stopping that marketing funnel. They have a pulse on promotions at all times. We run a lot of flash sales, a lot of great offers. Right now we have a friends and family sale going on. Super great deals. And our top accounts are never missing that opportunity to pick up the phone and say, hey, I know you've been thinking about going on a river cruise. Now's the time. Hey, I have a great deal on an Emerald yacht. Now's the time. You can earn this, this, and this. They are always marketing.
And we've got a good amount of time left, so let's shift gears to the ships themselves.
Sure.
Tell us what make Scenic vessels so unique.
Yeah, so I'd love to start off with the Scenic Eclipse fleet, because they're such beautiful ships built in 2019 and 2023, and just lovely because they have a capacity of 228 guests and offer 10 different culinary experiences on board. Wow. That is right, a yacht with 228 guests, 10 different culinary experiences. Everything from ethnic foods to, of course, the magnificent chef's table, French cuisine. Our menus are constantly rotating, so the culinary scene on Scenic is unsurpassed. Beyond that, we have a full-service spa with a full thermal suite area that's entirely complimentary for our guests. Everything from saunas, steam rooms, cold plunge pools, snow rooms, etc. Pilates studios, fitness rooms. Again, on a yacht for 228 guests. So this is really a spectacular experience on board for our guests. And even with it's a small ship, but it never gets boring on board.
And help our advisors understand who they should be qualifying to Scenic versus Emerald.
Sure. So if you're in the yacht space, it's important to note that the Emerald yachts are for fun in the sun destinations. So that's going to be your Caribbean itineraries, your Adriatic, Aegean seas, Mediterranean seas, and what we hope to be soon, the Seychelles. We're dying to get there. Hopefully, geopolitically, we'll be able to make that work soon. So it's all warm weather on Emerald yachts. On the Scenic side, it's all 7 continents. So it just depends on what time of year will dictate where our ships are. We always do a full season in Antarctica from November through March, and then we'll do some Europe, we'll do some Asia, we'll do Australia, New Zealand, South Pacific, Canada, New England. I mean, we're constantly moving around, so it never gets dull.
Now my favorite part. Let's talk about that commission.
Oh, yes. So,
what's been the record that you...
Yeah, so on a single booking on Antarctica 21 day to South Georgia, Falkland Islands, in the owner's penthouse suite, we had a advisor make $19,000 in commission, so it was pretty sweet. But I'll tell you something sweeter, Charlie.
What's that?
If you charter one of our ships and you get your margins right, we had an Emerald yacht charter with 3 advisors, and their margin is about $100,000 profit. Oh. And I will tell you, they sold it out super quickly. There's only a handful of suites left, so you know, chartering is a lot easier when you're looking at small ships and there's only 50 cabins.
And 50 cabins, you
yes.
said, on the Emerald, so 100 passengers.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Where are we going for complete information on Scenic?
You can go right to our consumer websites, either scenicusa.com or emeraldcruises.com. In the upper right-hand corner of our consumer website, you will have our travel advisor portal. There are so many different pieces of information there, and many of it's not even password protected, because we know how difficult it is to keep all those passwords straight. So you can literally click that link, go down, and there's everything wrapped up in a bubble. If you like to live on social media or Facebook, we have our Partners in Travel Facebook page as well. We do lots of consumer offers, advisor incentives, and so much more. So definitely check that out.
And I don't want to shortchange you on your time, Kayla. So whether it's your own memory or someone else's, do you have a particular story about or a memory about an onboard experience that maybe you'd like to share?
I would, and this is a fan favorite, polar plunging. No, it's not for everybody, but I highly recommend, and I will tell you, I had the privilege of doing this in Antarctica.
You did it yourself.
I did. You'll have to check out my Facebook for the video, because Dua Lipa was singing in the background.
I follow you.
It was an atmosphere, yes. But we have a full marina platform that we extend, and there's a drink station. We have our crew lining the way. There's music playing to get the atmosphere up. And we also have an area on the aft of our ship where all of the other guests that are not participating or plunging later can actually view the scene. And so my sister and I were walking down there. The adrenaline was pumping. We decided our move was going to be to high five, because we set out a Zodiac to take video footage of that so we can provide to our guests afterwards. So we did it. It was an exhilarating feeling. I came up for that first breath, dog pedaled as fast as I could to the ladder to get back on board, and about 10 minutes later, an emperor penguin happened to be passing by.
Oh my
and we
God.
saw this, the beak and the beautiful colors, and it was just a moment where I had to sit back and say, how lucky am I that I get to jump in 32-degree water.
32 degrees.
But with the most magnificent wildlife. And it, will live in my memory bank forever. So
I know I'm going to go to that Facebook page right after this and check that out.
You should.
Kayla Corbett, thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for being here. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
let's hear it for Kayla. Ah, there we go. Thank you so much.
Charlie.
It was wonderful. And last but certainly not least, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Senior Director, Field and Inside Sales at Silver Sea, Kelly Beagle.
Thank you, Charlie. Hello. Good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're at the end of the panel, I think.
Oh, we are. We
Right?
are. And you're absolutely one of my favorite people.
Thank you, Charlie.
I
Back at you.
Thank you. Kelly.
Yes.
Give us that one sentence about Silver Sea.
Yes, I like this question, Charlie. It made me have to think about it. So I think Silver Sea takes you farther to bring you closer to the rare and remarkable. I think that really brings together the Silver Sea experience, whether it's classic or expedition. It's really taking guests farther out to unique destinations, all 7 continents, to experience those rare, unique opportunities that they're going to run home and tell their friends about.
Wow.
I love that. You know what, Charlie? Another one from more of an internal perspective for our travel advisors, since they're an extension of our sales team. We have what we call the Silver Sea Way, and this is our North Star. It's how we do everything internally, ship side or shore side and on board. And that is focused on personalized, genuine, consistent service. And I think as a travel advisor, it's important to know that you can count on that. So 3 other words, a sentence and 3 words.
And that consistency is at the,
Key.
That's a cornerstone of what travel advisors want, because
Right.
we want our guests to be happy, our clients to be happy.
Absolutely.
What's the latest? What are you excited about at
So
Silver
many
Sea?
things, so many things to be excited about. I think if I had to pick one, I would say our Antarctica Fly program. Have you been to Antarctica?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm waiting to get into a certain range of where I can have a nice little outfit made for me.
Okay. Well, when you're ready, Charlie, because, going to Antarctica, regardless of whoever you sail with, and I hope it is Silver Sea, getting there is a journey in itself, right? So we thought, how can we make this easier and more seamless for our guests? So in January 2026, we'll be opening the Cormorant at 55 South.
So excited.
Which is the most southern hotel in the world. So guests will now fly into Santiago, fly down to Puerto Williams on a Silver Sea chartered flight, and then they'll stay at the Cormorant Hotel, 150 rooms. They'll have a luxurious experience before they board their ship, where they're going to have the best educators, the highest guest guide ratio, and explore the White Continent. So that's going to be a game changer.
And another commission opportunity.
Another commission opportunity, you're right. That's all one price, higher ticket price because it's a high value, and that's reflected in the commission.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Who are Silver Sea clients?
Silver Sea clients, are those that are curious, that are looking for a unique experience, that maybe they've been to the Caribbean, they've been to the Mediterranean, and they want a little bit more of off the beaten path. If a guest comes to you, if one of your client comes to you and wants to go anywhere in the world, Silver Sea can take them there. So they need to have the time, they need to have the funds.
Right.
But again, they're looking for authentic, local, they're curious travelers.
And who are the Silver Sea top performing agents? What do they have in common?
What do they have in common? It's a great question, Charlie. So I liked what Kayla said. They never stop marketing, right? I think it's important to always have something out there in the market. They're also educated. They are confident and educated. So taking the CLIA certifications, making sure you take Silver Sea Academy courses, and then be confident. You said in the beginning, Charlie, anybody can sell luxury, right? You need to just try to just have the conversation. A lot of our new to brand guests are working with a travel advisor for the first time ever. So I say, be confident, know your product, and get out there. The last thing I'll add, Charlie, is the co-branded marketing materials that we have available. We've invested, Silver Sea has invested in this product so that you can very easily co-brand our website and promote that out. If you go to inspires.to / this one, / Silver Sea, you can start co-branding immediately.
Wow, that's so exciting.
Yes.
Because it just makes it turnkey.
Absolutely. Your favorite question.
My favorite question.
It's all about the money with you, Charlie.
Well,
That's
I'm very shallow. Hey, I've got a mortgage to pay. I just got married. And for the record, he should be sainted. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, yes. What is the largest single?
It's a fun question. So one of my peers, I think, talked about the World Cruise. So if you're thinking about our World Cruise on a top suite, that's $500,000, to sell. So the largest commission I've seen is around $90,000. And that's, again, for one booking
FIT.
On an FIT World Cruise. Now, two things I will add to that. One, I wouldn't discount every individual booking, right? Silver Sea adds a 1% commission on any new to brand that you book, both the first time and the second time they sail, and an extra 1% commission on every expedition booking. This is added right onto the invoice. It's added automatically.
That's fantastic. I love that because you're looking at acquisitions, right? It's all about the acquisition.
Right. So I think Alex touched on this. I mean, really, every booking has a big opportunity for big commissions. I said I had 2 points. Sure. I forgot the second point. So we can move on.
Maybe it might come back.
It might come back to me.
But you know what I find with the clients that I've put on Silver Sea that they have tremendous loyalty. Like this, once they're on Silver Sea, once they stick with you.
And actually, you made me think of something else.
Oh, terrific.
It wasn't the point I was thinking of, but it's another good point. That those advisors that are really successful with Silver Sea are also, they're educated, they're confident, right? But they're also encouraging their guests once on board to rebook.
Right.
Because then they have an onboard savings, that commission stays with you, that relationship stays with you, but they're closing the loop, right? It's the conversation doesn't end at you're booked.
Right.
What bon voyage, let's get you booked while you're on board.
Kind of setting up your annuity.
A virtuous cycle, exactly.
Wash, what is that? Wash, lather, repeat.
Rinse,
rinse,
something like that.
Wash,
yes.
rinse, repeat.
Yes.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Can you share where we should go to learn everything about Silver Sea?
Yes. So if you go to silversea.com and scroll all the way to the bottom, there's the Travel Advisor Resource page, or Resource Center. And this is a catch-all for so many different things. You can get to Marketing Central, where you can find flyers and invites to use and content. You can also go to find our entire sales team there. A lot of places to go from there. So the Travel Agent Resource Center.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Kelly Beagle, ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a nice round of
Charlie.
applause. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Congratulations on a great cruise.
Thank you very much. Wow. Well, folks, can you believe it? Let's have another nice round of applause for the magnificent 7 panelists that we've just heard from. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being on this panel. It's been a real pleasure to be your moderator. And my voice has about 10 seconds more left. There we go. Well, folks, the ship has sailed on our general sessions for this year's Cruise 360. 2025 has been an extraordinary year for the cruise industry and our global cruise community, marked by remarkable advancements, exciting developments, and significant milestones. This year, we celebrate not only CLIA's 50th anniversary and Cruise 360's 20th anniversary, but also my 10th year as your MC of Cruise 360. Thank you very much. It is my honor and privileged to serve as your host every year, and I have loved reconnecting with all of you this week. So thank you for being here. I encourage you to make the most of your Friday afternoon by attending the cruise line showcases, and don't forget to join us later at the Visit Lauderdale and Port Everglades reception from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. for a wonderful evening of fellowship and celebration. Looking ahead, we hope to see you at our upcoming virtual and live events as we continue to innovate and grow together. And mark your calendars, folks. Cruise360 will return to Fort Lauderdale next year from April 21st through the 26th. Until we meet again, keep smiling, keep sailing, keep selling, and I will look forward to welcoming you back here next year. Thank you for being part of CLIA and Cruise360. Goodbye for now.